My name is Fiso Ngobese, the Director responsible for Sport and Enrichment programs in the Department of Basic Education. Sport is very important in the development of learners. We know that the basic education deals with learners, young people who are still at school. It is very important that they be exposed to playing sport and also participate in other arts and other enrichment programs while they are at school. Remember, we are building young people, we are molding their personality, we are shaping their future. So participating in sport allows them to discover themselves. It also engenders self-esteem. It assists them with their development. So it is important that they be exposed as much as possible in participating in sport and also working with their counterparts, other young children, socially, to develop social skills, but also some of them actually go on to become professional sport people, and they can actually sustain their own livelihood through participating in sport and other arts and cultural activities in school. So in that way, sport is an integral part of education and also in terms of personality development. Besides sport, we also offer learners programs such as the Spelling Bee, which is directly linked to the curriculum. Last year we were able to introduce Spelling Bee in African languages as well. So we are not only offering Spelling Bee in English, but we are supporting African indigenous languages. And we're hoping that now that the programs are back, we will also be expanding Spelling Bee in African languages. We have also the Choral A Stedford, which is the flagship program of the department. Quite a number of schools across the country in all provinces participate in this program, and it is always supported. We also promote reading clubs in schools. We also encourage other cultural and arts programs, that some of them that are offered by our provinces. Different provinces have got different arts and culture program, and as a department we are also working towards making sure that eventually we have a national arts festival. So those are some of the activities that are taking place. There are other programs that are offered which are also done to promote social cohesion. We have programs such as moot court, oral history, and many others. Learners miss quite a lot because, as you would know, it was very early in the year. It was in March when the sport and enrichment programs were suspended in schools, obviously because of the state of disaster. They had to be suspended and schools were closed. We were on lockdown, level 5, so we had to stay at home. And that actually happened at a time when the athletics season was about to be finished. We were supposed to have the National Athletics Championship, but we could not host it. And we were also about to start preparing for winter games, which are all our ball games, your rugby, soccer, tennis, and many others. So we could not proceed with those activities. And quite a number of learners were, I would say they were robbed of the opportunity to participate right up to the national level. From their school right up to the national level, there was no chance for them to participate. There were no leagues, as everything was stopped. We called off the Choral A Stedford, and we had planned that in 2020 we were actually going to celebrate 20 years of the South African Schools Choral A Stedford. That had to be put on hold. So it was a big disappointment for our learners who are activity inclined and those who like to perform all the outdoor activities, including sport. But we had to encourage them and tell them, there would be another chance for them to participate going forward. But yes, 2020 was really a difficult year in the sport and enrichment programs. Seeing that learners could not participate, we actually partnered with some of the partners that implement the programs with us. For example, for the Choral A Stedford, we were able to produce an e-learning material for our learners who normally participate in the open section of the South African Choral A Stedford. Those learners that are singing opera songs, we were able to partner with Cape Town Opera to produce an e-learning material that learners could actually use at the comfort of their homes, and it actually assisted both those learners as well as the conductors in schools. In terms of sport, we partnered with Gymnastics South Africa as well as our partners in the physical education space, such as Active Education, to come up with e-learning materials and exercises that learners could do while they were on lockdown. And we made sure that all the provinces received those materials, and learners were then able to utilize them at home. So those were the few strategies that we employed in order to assist learners during lockdown, and they assisted our learners to a great extent. You would recall that the department, through the Ministry of Basic Education, has issued new directions to support schools. So there is a reintroduction of some of the sporting codes back into the system. These will include non-contact sport, where learners have to maintain social distancing. You're speaking of codes such as tennis, table tennis, and other codes where learners do not have to physically touch each other. So those have been reintroduced into the system. It's just that at the moment our focus is on exams. But come 2021, when schools reopen, learners will be able to start with athletics and preparing themselves, doing all the conditioning and the exercises in terms of athletics, in order to prepare them for the championship, which will take place around March, April in 2021. So we have also made sure that in the new directions we give restrictions in terms of what learners are able to do in their schools, knowing very well that we are still operating under the context of COVID-19. So we cannot just allow all the sporting codes to come back. Sporting codes such as rugby, for example, and other contact sport, the only thing that they are allowed to do is to practice and do drills and do some form of exercising, but not to start playing matches, because, as you know, they will have to touch each other. And as you would know, that we have the protocol that deals with the issues of social distancing in school, sanitizing, and making sure that everybody remains healthy and safe. So that is paramount at this particular time. Until such time that it is safe to do so, then contact sport will be reintroduced. But for now, it's only non-contact sport that is allowed. Basically, it would be to, we know that because of the disturbances and the lockdown and COVID in 2020, some learners actually missed on opportunities, and we just want to say to learners, many learners who would have excelled in this year, 2020, that there will be other opportunities in the future. They will still be in a position to participate in sport, whether they go to tertiary institutions or they join clubs. That opportunity is still available. We know that it was not anyone's doing that this year we were disrupted, but we hope that sportmen and sportwomen out there will still, take their sport practices seriously, so that they can then be future professional athletes that we know them to be. So we just wish them well as all the learners are writing examination, and hopefully they will do their schools and their parents proud.